Welcome to Do Well in a Nutshell. I'm Marcus, and I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, Carolyn.
Hey everyone, so good to be with you all. We've got a really, an important topic on our minds today, don't we, Marcus?
Absolutely, Carolyn. You know, it's something I think a lot of us deal with, sometimes without even realizing it. We're talking about overthinking, that feeling where your mind just won't stop going over things.
Yeah, it can really, take over everything. And today, we're diving into a resource that promises to help us navigate that exact challenge. Self-Help for Overthinking by the insightful A.J. Taylor. We're really excited to explore this one with you.
So, Carolyn, building on what we just said, have you ever felt like overthinking it takes over everything? Like even simple everyday tasks, suddenly they feel like these monumental feats you have to climb.
Oh, absolutely, Marcus. I mean, it's that feeling where, you're just trying to decide what to have for dinner, and suddenly you're analyzing every single ingredient, thinking about the historical origins of that food. It's just too much. It truly can turn something small into something huge.
Right? It's like your brain just goes into overdrive and it's not even helping you. It's just creating more noise, you know?
Yeah, it's that constant mental chatter, that inner critic, that nagging doubt that just keeps whispering in your ear. And, it's exhausting. It really is.
It is, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if we could actually realistically silence some of that, not eliminate it entirely maybe, but just quiet it down? What if we could actually take that constant mental chatter and, instead of letting it work against us, steer those thoughts in a direction that actually, works for us?
Yeah, instead of spiraling, you're directing. That's the dream, isn't it? To take control of that narrative in your head. Because for so many people, it just feels like the default setting is that intense analysis, that worry.
Exactly. And it really affects how you approach everything from, a simple email at work to a big life decision. If your brain is constantly spinning, it's debilitating.
Absolutely. It's almost like carrying an invisible weight, So this book, Self-Help for Overthinking, really seems to tackle that core problem head on.
Yeah, absolutely, Caroline. I mean, it's not just another self-help book, right? What really stood out to me when I was looking through it is how it's positioned as this ultimate actionable resource. It's not just talking about overthinking, it's actually giving you the tools.
Right. Because I think a lot of times you pick up a book and it's like, here's the problem. But this one is like, okay, we're going to break down that fear. We're going to break down that anxiety. And then it gives you the pieces to actually build something clearer, something more focused, which I think is what so many people are looking for when they're stuck in that loop.
Exactly. It's not just about coping with stress or anxiety, which a lot of books, sort of stay at that surface level. This one, it goes deeper. It really, it takes that insight into why you're overthinking, and then it turns it into a really practical guide.
Yeah, it's not just theory, right? It's like, here's the science behind it, but also here's how you actually do something about it. And I really appreciate the emphasis on relatable examples, because when you read something and you're like, oh, that's me, that's exactly what I do, it just hits different, doesn't it?
It totally does. You feel seen, and it's not just someone's opinion, it's backed by research, which I think is so crucial when you're dealing with something as complex as mental patterns and overthinking. Those research-backed tips really resonate. They feel credible.
Yeah, it gives you that confidence that, okay, these aren't just arbitrary suggestions. This is actually based on proven methods. So yeah, it's that combination of the actionable steps, the relatability, and then, the solid foundation of research, which makes it pretty compelling.
So diving a bit deeper, one of the first things the book really pushes you to explore is this insight into overthinking itself. It's not just telling you what overthinking is, but it really tries to unveil its true nature.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important because I think a lot of people just know they're overthinking, but they don't really know why. And this book, it digs into those hidden reasons, doesn't it? Like what's actually beneath the surface.
Exactly. It's like, why are my thoughts spiraling this way? What are the triggers? And it helps you understand your mind's patterns in a way that maybe you haven't quite grasped before. It's almost like a detective story for your own brain, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense because once you understand the pattern, then you have a chance to actually disrupt it, right? Like if you don't even know what you're doing or why you're doing it, then it's really hard to change it. So just that initial awareness is like huge.
It is. It's that foundational step because before you can break the cycle, you need to, actually see the gears turning, see how your particular mind is wired for overthinking. And it really encourages that deeper self-awareness, which honestly, I think is probably the most empowering part of the whole journey.
Yeah, it's not just about like surface level fixes, it's getting down to the roots. And I think that's what distinguishes it too. It's not just, a quick tip here and there, but a genuine exploration of your own cognitive habits.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting down to the roots, once you have that awareness, the book then shifts into these really practical, like innovative techniques to actually disrupt that overthinking loop. It's not just identifying it, but giving you the tools to like pull yourself out of it.
Yeah, because it's one thing to know you're doing it, but it's another to actually um, have a strategy for it. And I found that part particularly useful because it's about paving the way to a more focused mindset. Like, how do you actually reroute those thoughts once you catch them?
Right. Like, how do you stop that train before it goes completely off the rails? And it provides concrete steps for that, which I think is key. But then, it also touches on something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and that's social anxiety. It's like overthinking often bleeds into those interactions, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. I mean, thinking about what you said, what you should have said, what they might have thought, it's just a constant loop. And the book has some really powerful strategies there, doesn't it? Like for equipping yourself to be more fearless in those situations.
Yeah, it really does. It's almost like a toolkit for navigating interactions with more ease and, more importantly, with confidence. Because so much of social anxiety comes from that internal overthinking about how you're perceived or what could go wrong. And the book helps you sort of quiet that internal critic.
And it's not about like becoming someone you're not, but more about just being able to, be present and confident in those moments without that constant mental chatter, right? So you can actually listen and respond rather than just uh, overanalyzing everything.
Exactly. It's about, reclaiming that mental space for actual connection rather than just being stuck in your head. And that, I mean, that's life-changing for so many people.
Okay, so we've talked about social interactions, but somewhere else that overthinking really rears its head in a big way is the workplace.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me, that's often where um, a lot of my overthinking used to manifest, like worrying about deadlines or presentations or, what colleagues thought. It's just a constant loop.
Yeah, and the book, it doesn't shy away from that at all, does it? It actually offers like specific strategies for workplace stress, like how to really uncover effective methods to minimize that stress in your work environment.
Right. Because it's not just about managing your tasks, it's about managing your mind while you're doing your tasks and being able to perform, without that constant weight of anxiety hanging over you. Like it's incredibly freeing to learn how to do that.
So true. And I think that ties into the bigger picture of what the book's trying to achieve, which is long lasting resilience. It's not just quick fixes, right? It's about developing like a solid framework for maintaining mental strength.
Exactly. A framework for, when life inevitably throws curveballs at you, you have the tools to face those challenges, not just like react to them, but to really approach them with um, poise and determination, as the book puts it.
Which is, a huge shift from that feeling of being completely overwhelmed by every little thing, which is often how overthinking manifests. It makes everything feel like, a monumental challenge.
Yeah, it's about I guess, building that inner fortress, isn't it? So that even when the external environment is chaotic, you have a solid foundation within yourself. And that's priceless.
And you know what else is really, really helpful with this book, Marcus? It's not just conceptual, like it doesn't just give you these big ideas and frameworks and then leave you to figure out how to apply them.
Oh, no, not at all. That's actually one of my favorite things about it because sometimes, you read these self-help books and you're like, okay, great information, but what do I do with it?
Exactly. But this one, it's got these like helpful to-do lists in every single chapter. I mean, it's so practical. It like truly makes it easy to take action on what you've learned.
Yeah, it's almost like it holds your hand through the process. Like you finish a chapter and instead of just thinking, that was interesting, you have these concrete steps. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to try this, or this week I'm going to implement that.
Totally. It breaks it down, right? So it's not another overwhelming task to figure out how to stop overthinking. It's like, here's step one, here's step two. And that's really, I think, how you start to see that even a small change can make a massive difference in, curbing those overthinking habits.
A small change can really lead to a ripple effect. And that's the whole point, isn't it? To not just understand overthinking, but to actually do something about it.
So, for anyone listening right now, if this resonates, if you're tired of overthinking taking over, grab your copy. Seriously, just, get started today. See how even those little shifts can change things for you.
Absolutely. It's about, taking that first step towards a calmer, more focused mind. And this book, Self-Help for Overthinking, really gives you the roadmap.
Yeah, it truly does. And honestly, Marcus, it's been eye-opening just talking about how comprehensive this book is. It's not just like a quick fix. It's a real tool for long-term change.
Totally. It really is. And, for anyone out there still on the fence, just think about what a clearer, more focused life could look like without, the constant mental chatter. This book, it really helps you build that.
So, grab your copy. Let's really tackle overthinking together, shall we? Because you don't have to navigate it alone.
You certainly don't. And that brings us to the end of the first episode of Do Well in a Nutshell. Thank you so much for tuning in, for spending some of your valuable time with us.
Yes, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, or if you find our content helpful, please do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
It truly does. And also, tell a friend. If you know someone who might be struggling with overthinking, share this episode with them. They might just find the solution they've been looking for. And don't forget to check out Self-Help for Overthinking by A.J. Taylor. It's truly a game changer. So until next time, this has been Marcus
And Caroline, reminding you to keep doing well in a nutshell.